There was a palpable silence in the courtroom. Head bowed and face, pale, felt the weight of every pair of eyes fixed on her. Outside, the storm mirrored the turbulence within her. A year ago, her life and that of her sister Elena had crumbled in a whirlwind of secrets and accusations. Your support helps us continue creating content that will hook you from beginning to end. Had been branded the culprit, the architect of the ruin of Elena's marriage to Javier, a man both had known since childhood. Rumors had spread like wildfire, fueled by ambiguous photographs and misinterpreted messages. Elena, devastated and blinded by pain, hadn't wanted to hear explanations. The family had split, friends had taken sides, and had become the black sheep, the traitor. The trial was the last resort, a chance to clear her name, though a deep sadness nested in her heart. She remembered Elena's wedding as if it were yesterday, her sister's radiant happiness, the promise of a bright future with Javier. She had been a bridesmaid, smiling falsely while feeling a pang of something she had never dared to name. Perhaps jealousy, perhaps a dark intuition that now haunted her. The days following Elena's separation were hell. The angry phone calls, the messages full of reproaches, the emptiness at family gatherings, had retreated into herself, trying to understand how things had reached that point. She had never wanted to hurt her sister, whom she had always loved deeply. But the evidence seemed to go against her. A casual encounter with Javier in our cafe, a conversation about Elena's marital problems, a farewell hug captured by an indiscreet camera. Everything had been taken out of context, magnified by Elena's rage and despair. Elena's lawyer presented the evidence with calculated theatricality, each word a dagger aimed at heart. Elena's tears on the stand moved the jury. Herself began to doubt her memory, wondering if she had truly crossed some invisible line, if her closeness to Javier had been inappropriate. Her lawyer tried to maintain composure, pointing out inconsistencies in Elena's story, and the lack of conclusive evidence of a romantic relationship between and Javier. But public opinion had already delivered its verdict, was guilty. The lump in her throat tightened as she listened to the testimonies, each word a reminder of her loneliness and shame. Then came the crucial moment, the unexpected testimony that would change the course of the trial. A mutual friend, Laura, took the stand. She was visibly nervous, but her voice was firm. She recounted a conversation she'd had with Elena a few weeks before the separation. Elena, consumed by insecurity and unfounded jealousy towards, had confessed that she had been manipulating the situation, exaggerating the encounters between her sister and Javier, even sending anonymous messages to sow discord. Laura had tried to dissuade her, but Elena was determined to push out of her life. The room fell silent. Elena paled, her terror-filled eyes met. Elena's lawyer tried to discredit Laura, but she presented text messages and emails that supported her testimony. The truth, raw and painful, finally came to light. Felt a mix of shock and an even deeper pang of pain. Her own sister, the person she trusted most, had concocted this entire plan. Tears began to stream down her cheeks, but this time they weren't tears of shame, but of profound betrayal. The judge addressed the jury, explaining that the new evidence radically changed the case. Deliberation was brief. The verdict echoed through the room was innocent. A murmur rippled through the public. Felt the weight of injustice lift from her shoulders, but the joy was bittersweet. Her sister's reputation was in tatters, her marriage destroyed by her own machinations. Javier, who had been present throughout the trial with a somber expression, stood up and left the room without a word. Elena remained seated, her gaze lost, her face drenched in tears, watched her for an instant, her heart torn between anger and compassion. She slowly approached and extended her hand. Elena looked at her in disbelief, her eyes filled with remorse. In that moment, amidst the emotional chaos of the courtroom, there were no words, only a silent connection between two sisters whose bond had been terribly tested. The future was uncertain, full of scars and unanswered questions, but one thing was certain: nothing would ever be the same. Did this story leave you intrigued? Discover how this story continues and many more by subscribing to our channel and leaving your like.